What if you found the perfect step-by-step process to find listings, to find more listings, to convert more listings, to get more listings? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to share with you guys today. I'm going to share with you my five-step. Okay, this is a five-step process that I developed over the course of my career. And what's so incredible about this five-step process is it's the exact same. It's the exact same regardless of what your lead gen is. Number one, you can do social media, you can do cold calling, you can do door knocking, direct mail, sphere of influence. Whatever it is that you do, it doesn't matter. You still have to follow this five-step process. So it doesn't change. And you have to go through these five steps, regardless, every single time. Every single listing you get, you can't avoid any of these steps. And I think the problem is that some agents, a lot of agents actually skip over a couple of these steps, and that's why they're having trouble with the conversion process. So I want to share this with you. And what I want to do here with this is I'm going to reveal the five steps in the video today, but I'm going to make this a five-part series because each step really deserves a full training. So today I'm going to show you all five steps, and then I'm going to go really deep on step one. And then we're going to come back and have a part two for step two, a part three for step three, etc. Okay. So, um, and if you're watching this a lot later on after I posted it and we've already went through the steps and you're having trouble finding them, I'm going to create a playlist on YouTube that I'll put in the description. So if this is an older video at this point that you're watching, just go down into the description. There's a playlist with all five parts of the series for you to dive into. So when we think about listings, okay, so before I share with you the five-step listing process, okay, what is a listing? Number one, I personally have picked up. I listed over 1,000 properties in my career. I did 100 a year for 8 years in a row. Okay, so through that process, you start out your career and you think listings are one thing. And then after you list 1,000 properties, you realize it's something totally different, completely different. Okay. It's a completely different ballgame. And the problem is bad programming. We're just programmed by mainstream coaching and training and brokers and fellow agents, YouTube, podcasts, etc. And we kind of fall into this, closing deals now. Why? Because why do they do that? That's a good question. Why do they teach us that listings are more about closing deals and handling objections and, making money, et cetera, et cetera? Why do they do that? Well, because that's what triggers us to buy their coaching programs. That's what triggers us to, take action. Oh, this person says this is how you make quick money. You get listings really fast. So I'm going to go down this road. And what happens is we get kind of pulled down the wrong road, right? It really is. And it happened to me, it happened to you, it's happened to all of us. So one of my goals here is to help you realize that we have been going down the wrong road when it comes to mainstream training. And there is a different way, and there is a better way, and there is, in my opinion, the right way. Now, everything works. I'm not going to tell you that high pressure, handling objections, all that stuff doesn't work because it does. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money with it. I think that I build a much healthier business that produces so much more passive residual leads over my career, right? So think about this. When you're building your business, do you want a business where we have to go out every single year, handle objections, try to close people, convince them, all those things every single year, year after year until you retire? Or would you rather build a business that builds up, and it gets to the point where you don't have to do any of that anymore? You don't even have to prospect anymore. Literally, leads just flow into you. That's what I wanted. I wanted a business where leads were completely residual. I did not have to do anything for people to reach out to me who already trusted me, that wanted to work with me to buy and sell properties. That's what I wanted. That was my dream. And that's why I built my business the way that I did. And so when you build your business the way that I teach you to build your business, you're not only, in my opinion, going to close more deals in the short term, because I believe that my style of sales um, wins wins every single time. Now, on a one-on-one basis, sure, but over the course of 100 leads, like you give me 100 opportunities against somebody else with the opposite style with 100 opportunities. Uh, I think I win, and not even just in the closing categories, just like the overall we trade stocks and companies on the futures of the company, right? The future, like what the company is worth, whatever they feel like the revenues are going to be in the future, right? And so when I take 100 leads and I close some deals out of that, but like I'm the master at squeezing out all the future business out of those 100 leads. And that's the part a lot of agents kind of skip over. I'm getting off topic here. When I after I listed 1,000 properties and I really sat down and thought about it, let me give you my definition of a listing. Okay. A listing is a written agreement. Let me move this so I can see people coming in. All right. A listing is a written agreement in which a property owner hires a real estate agent to solve a problem. And a lot of agents feel like they hire you to sell a property. No, that's not the case. Do you realize, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, you can put in the comments, like, know of sellers have listed properties for sellers who literally do not care if the property sells. They're just like, I want to put it out there and see what happens. Like, I don't have to sell it. I don't care if it sells. Like, you have to realize there's different levels of motivation. That's why we have to dig really deep into why people are trying to do what they're trying to do. So we can understand who we're dealing with and take actions accordingly. If we take a listing and then our sole purpose is, well, how do we sell this? We got to sell this. We got to sell this. When really, in reality, we have really very little control over selling it. Otherwise, every listing would sell. There'd be no listings on the market. If think about it, if agents could actually control selling properties, there would be no listings. They would all sell and literally before they even hit the market. We would make them sell. You can't make anything sell. So stressing yourself out about how to sell a listing is kind of a dead end road anyway. Okay. But furthermore, you got to realize on top of all that, and this is how you start to learn how to become efficient because the way you spend your time is what your business is going to look like. So if you're spending your time on things that you have no control of, then you're going to have no control over your business. Think about it. And you're going to have no leverage when it comes to efficiency or growth or productivity. None of that stuff. And so what you have to do is you have to realize what you have control of, what you don't have control what you can, and let the rest happen the way it's going to happen. Just let it happen. If the listing will sell its own, like the universe will sell that listing. If there's a buyer out there, you're not going to be able to stop that buyer from finding that property. Let them find it, right? Spend your time doing things you can control, which is what? I love going and getting more listings. I love stacking more listings because I don't know if this listing is going to sell or not. And if the seller doesn't care if it sells, I'm trying to help them do what they want to do. Okay. So I have to understand that to the core. So when I say a listing is a written agreement in which a property owner hires a real estate agent to solve a problem, not sell a property, but solve a problem, we'll first have to understand what the problem is. People don't wake up one day and say, I think I'll sell a property for no reason in the world. No, they don't. There's something going on in their life. And as a professional, this is what I call being professional. As a professional, okay, think of yourself as a professional. That's what you should think of yourself as a professional. You should be asking all the tough questions, all the right questions, so that you understand the situation, hopefully more than they even do. You need to ask questions that they haven't even thought about their situation. Like, you know what that does? That tells them that number one, you're professional, but number two, you are the real deal and you are different than every other agent. And nobody can really hold a candle to the services that you're going to provide. Why? Because you understand their situation more than they do. No other agent has even come close to that. And now they're like, when they realize you know more about it than they do, or at least on the same level, or that you even care enough to understand their situation and why they're selling this property, like their kids went to college, their mom died, they need a extra bedroom, their mom moved in, they lost a job, got a job. What is going on? It's an investment property. Oh, okay. Well, they're taking that money and they're going to buy something else. There's a reason why people are doing things that's outside of the just pure transaction. And this is the part agents miss, man. They hear somebody wants to sell and they're like, okay, when can I come see it? And here's what we'll do to sell it. It's like, slow down, man. Like, why do they want to sell? If you don't understand that, then you're not really doing your job because you can't actually help them and you're showing them how unprofessional you are. It's just facts. I'm just speaking truth. So, so the definition comes back to hiring a real estate agent to solve a problem of theirs by representing them on the sale of one or more pieces of real estate they own at a specific price in exchange for an agreed on commission. At which point, in addition to pursuing any buyers for the property, the real estate agent may also use said agreement as an asset to leverage into other deals and relationships, as well as multiply their time to find the freedom that they've always desired. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition, is the real definition, the Ricky Carruth definition of a listing. It's a pro in layman's terms. It's a property owner who hires us to solve a problem. We have to understand what the problem is. Okay. Now, and it's a written agreement, right? We're going to sell it. We're going to help them solve this problem by selling these properties at a specific price for an agreed on commission. And at which point we can use that set agreement to leverage into other relationships, deals, and find the freedom we've always desired. See, we can stack up listings, right? Would we rather have 30 active listings or 30 active buyers? This is the big question I ask agents. And 99% of agents say I would rather have 30 active listings. Why? Because they're easier. Like you can leverage yourself. If you have 30 active buyers, you're losing your mind. With 30 active listings, you're like in the driver's seat. It's very obvious. And so you spend less time, you can leverage yourself. You're literally using the army of agents in your market to sell this property. Whereas with a buyer, you are the army. Like it's you. You have to do all the work. Okay. So you can leverage that set agreement into more relationships and deals through marketing the listing, calling property owners of smaller properties, seeing if they want to upgrade, developing relationships with those people who don't want to buy it, but you have a great conversation. Like there's so many things. There's so many things. This is very deep. And so that's the first thing I want to share with you guys is the true definition of a listing. Now, let me share my vibe. Okay, and if you're on Zoom with me here, I shared this with you before we started the training. I'm doing my 2025 business planning session in December. I don't have a date yet, but if you'd like to get notified about that and all my trainings, which I plan on doing every single week, I'm not here next week, I'm in the Bahamas, but every week that I'm here, which is quite a few, I'm going to be doing a training like this. I'll be doing my part 2, my part 3. I'll be doing all kinds of trainings, all free, and everything I know. And all you have to do is text me here to join my text, 251-312-8844 to get notified on all that stuff. Okay. Sweet. So let's get into this. All right. 5-step listing process. Let's do it. Okay. So when I created this, right, I created it with all C's, right? C, 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 C. The first one, which is what we're going to get into today, is collect targeted seller data. Okay. And I'm going to cover this through, using social media, doing video, direct mail, cold calling, etc. Right. So we're going to dive deep into this one today. But what are the rest of them? So once we collect the targeted seller data, now we're going to confront them with value. Okay. That's the second step. We'll do a whole training on that part. The third one, after we confront them with value, we're going to comfort them with curiosity and dependability. Okay. Comfort them with curiosity and dependability. Okay. The next one, number 4, is confirm listing appointment. And the fifth one is convert listing. Okay, so think about it. Now, I've got, as I have this on the board, and you can see this. Okay, think about this. Think about every time you got a listing and just think about this process. And think about if you follow this process every single time. Okay. We first have to collect the seller data, right? We got to collect the seller data. However, you do that is your choice, but it's what you got to do if you want a listing. Okay. You can't get around that part. Confronting them with value. A lot of agents do this right. A lot of agents do this collecting targeted seller data. They do it great. A lot of agents do this part pretty good, pretty good. Confront them with value. They do that pretty good. The part that they skip every time, it seems like, is confronting them. I mean, comforting them with curiosity and dependability, right? They skip over that part, most agents, right? Want to really spend some time there on that third part of the series. And then we've got confirming the listing appointment. And we've got converting the listing. I'll probably combine these two in one part, probably be a four-part series, and combine 4 and 5 into one training. Confirm listing appointment, convert listing. So there it is. This is the five-step listing process that you can't get around. Like you can try to skip some of this. And when you skip this part, this is why a lot of you guys are having trouble at the listing appointment because you skipped that part. You went right from confronting them with value. Oh, they want to sell. Okay, great. Let's confirm appointment and convert listing, right? You missed this part. And so you didn't really build a high level of trust with them. Okay. So when you think about, I want you to think about this statement. Let me make sure I got some people in the waiting room. Okay, before you have a large inventory of listings, you must first develop a high level of trust with a large volume of property owners in your market. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. You guys should write this down and like really digest and meditate on this, okay? Okay. Now, before you have a large volume, a lot of listings, okay? A lot of listings, okay? A lot. Okay? Before you can have a lot of listings, you must first, before you have the huge inventory of listings, you must first develop a high level of trust with a large volume of property owners. There's a lot going on here because it's like there's a lot of questions, okay? Like how do you develop a high level of trust, right? How do you get one person to trust you, right? How do you develop a high level of trust with one person, right? Because there's trust and there's a high level of trust. So how to develop a high level of trust with just one person, not to mention a large volume and a large enough volume to create a large inventory of active listings. Okay. There's a lot going on here. Okay. So this is something that we'll continue to break down through the series. Okay. So when we come to this first step, the first step, collect targeted seller data. Okay. So when you think about collecting targeted seller data, let's just uh, let's just talk about the big three, I want to call it. Right. Let's talk about the big three. Okay. Let's just say social media, prospecting.
Peaceful.
Let me mute you guys. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why there's that green thing on the screen. Anyway. I don't see that on my end. Oh, that's just on my computer. Okay, social media, prospecting, and direct mail. Now I know there's other things, right? Let's just say referrals, um, that's base referrals are basically sphere of influence, people that past clients referring you people, stuff like that. I don't Referrals don't really equal growth to me. If you're brand new, then referrals could you could see some growth, but referrals eventually get you to a place where you just plateau and you just maintain unless you're growing with new people. So I don't even talk about referrals. I know you got online seller leads, right? Where, like maybe Zillow or, some of these other online lead companies charge your arm and a leg, sometimes even 20, 30, 40% of the deal to give you these leads. You know, I mean, it's almost like, okay, whatever. All right. I don't even want to talk about that stuff. Okay. I want to focus on what people actually do to build, you know, uh, organic and sometimes paid because you can have some ads here. But when we talk about social media, you got the different platforms, right? Like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of them, TikTok, all that stuff, right? You got video, you got written word, you got ads, organic. Um, you got all the different like stories, posts, blah, blah, blah. You got all the different things, right? So let's just put all that in the same category, social media. Okay, you got prospecting, which is like for sale by owners, expireds, even I'm putting door knocking into this. That's prospecting. You got circle prospecting, you got for rent by owners, all that stuff. Okay. And we're talking about listings here. Okay. So we're talking about buyers, then I'd have like Zillow and different things. We're not talking about that. Um, and then direct mails, like postcards, letters, right, etc. Okay. Because you guys know I live in this box right here as far as my collecting targeted seller data and actually going after the exact property owners that I want to do business with and developing those relationships and listing their properties, right? I live here. Okay. And some agents, when I talk about like I made a post and I was like, hey, that client that you're trying to get via video. Well, I've already talked to them and I've already established a relationship and we're already under contract. While you're waiting on them to call you, I've already talked to them, right? I've already talked to them. And so I'm not saying don't do and so then there was all kinds of comments, right? And they're like, oh, my videos are prospecting for me at 11 o'clock at night and doing all this. And I'm like, yeah, me too. I didn't say I'm not doing videos. I didn't say I'm not doing videos. I'm doing videos. Everybody should do video. What I'm saying is that I understand what the KPI of lead gen is, right? With lead with lead generation, I understand the number one KPI, key performance indicator, is a conversation. I understand that. How do I know that? Why do I say that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when you look at lead gen activities, okay? So let's just put all lead gen activities in this box. Okay. So once you do this, okay, then what do you do? Okay. So let's just say lead gen activities, right? Like video and direct mail and cold calling and right. All the lead gen activities. Okay. Once you do the lead gen activities and you get lead. Okay. Dot, dot, dot. Now what? What do we do next? Right? When we get the lead, what do we got to do? Okay. Put it in the comments. What do we got to do when we get the lead? Well, it's very simple. It's very elementary. It's not hard to understand what the next step is. We have to talk to them. Okay. We have to talk to them no matter what. And so I find it fascinating Yeah, isn't it fascinating when you think about this that every single lead gen activity, I'm going to say it again, because like every single lead gen activity leads right back to conversation with the lead. You have to talk to them. You can't get around that. Once you talk to them, then the conversion process starts. Conversion slash nurture. Because if they don't want to do anything right now, then we're in nurturing, and through the nurturing is the conversion process. Because we're regardless of when they want to do something, if they want to do it today, if they want to do it next year, if they want to do it in 5 years, whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? Because the whole nurture is set up to convert. If they want to do something now, great. We start working with them. If they don't want to do something now, it's really the same thing. We're just continuing to build the relationship until they do want to do something. But nevertheless, that's getting into, the further steps we'll talk about in other parts of this series. What we're talking about right now is just a simple first step, which is collect targeted seller data. And what I'm telling you is that every single lead gen activity comes right back to the same thing, which is conversation before the conversion nurture process starts. So that's kind of the gatekeeper. Talking to them is the gatekeeper. So when I understand that and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this from a lead gen standpoint, right? Okay. I'm not saying don't do video. I'm saying understand how all this fits together like a puzzle. When we're trying to replace lead gen with video, that's fine. I know a lot of agents that crush it, but I know a lot of agents who don't crush it. They put out videos, they went on clients to call them. Well, it doesn't happen. And they're like, I don't know what to do. Well, I'll tell you what to do. If you got leads through social media, you got to call them anyway. If that's the case, right, you can actually skip the social media part and just call people. You can just talk to them right now. What are you waiting on? I'm playing to a very probably small demographic who are like, yeah, let me go call a bunch of people. I understand that. But I'm speaking to everyone because I'm not saying that you can't do the lead gen with the social media. I'm just making an argument here, right? I'm kind of pleading my case, not that this is just what I feel like is the most efficient way. You may get leads from social media and feel like that's the most efficient way. That's awesome, right? Same thing with direct mail. You do direct mail and you're not calling. Well, you're waiting on them to call you. Well, I already called them because I understand the KPI of lead gen is conversation, and I'm already having conversations with the people I want to do business with now. And the more conversations I can have, the more business I'm going to do. So when I'm thinking about collecting targeted seller data, right, and I understand conversations the key to all closings. Okay, now I just have to pick my poison. If I want to go the social media route, then that's what I do. But I have to. Here's the thing: we're getting all this shoved in our face, like ads saying, you're going to get all these leads if you do all this social media. Okay, let me go down that road. What I'm trying to do is say, look, yeah, you can do that, but you can also do this, and you can also do this. You can also do this. You can do it any way you want to. I'm not telling you which way you should do it. I'm just trying to help you understand what the differences are. Okay. So when I'm thinking about this, okay, I'm going to do social media. Okay. But I'm not going to use it for my lead gen, like my main lead gen. Ricky isn't. I'm not going to. I'm telling you what I would do. Okay. I'm not going to use it for my main lead gen. Why? Because here's the thing, if social media does produce conversations, okay, that's great. That's great if it produces conversations. Okay. But how many? See, now I'm at the mercy of the platform supplying me with leads and conversations that I need to grow my business. Versus when I pick out the exact property owner I want to do business with, and I can get their information for a penny, and I can go ahead and have the conversation right now, as many as I want. I can get as many as I want for the price I want and the quality I want. When I'm with social media or Zillow, I'm at the mercy of the platform telling me how many I'm going to get, when I'm going to get them, how much I'm going to pay, and what the quality of those leads are because it's random people. You can target on social media, you can do certain things, but like this is when you like use a Redx or a Mojo or something like that to target the exact people you want to do business with. And a lot of people, I'm talking to people and they're like, oh, people aren't answering phones anymore. Well, like every time I make calls, I get three or four leads and I'll do live calls for like 30, 40 minutes and I'll pick up three or four great leads that I can start pursuing. Well, that's just in your market. No, these people, I'm in a secondary market. These people live all over the country. Now I've got agents all over the country, and their pickup rate is 10%. That's why they use an auto dialer because they blow through 100 numbers and they talk to 10 people and they have five great conversations of people that want to do business with them. They literally got that for like $3 or $4. And they have the conversations now when they want to, as many as they want. You may not be the type of person that says, I'm going to make calls. Okay, that's fine. But just understand your business is going to grow slower unless you can create conversations with social media and you can create as many as I am prospecting. If you can do that, if you can create as many conversations, real conversations with the exact people that you want to do business with, and you can create the exact number of conversations or more, then you're in great shape. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if this prospecting thing and like cold calling people, etc., like is not your thing, okay, that's fine. But understand you're at the mercy of the social media platform or the Zillows or whoever it is to send you the leads. Now, if you can do that at a level where you have enough leads coming in that you can grow your business at the speed you want to grow your business, awesome. The reason my business always grew faster than every other agent's because I understood that most agents get about 500 leads a year off of social media, Zillow, etc. They're getting about 50 leads a month, I would say, on average, if I had to guess, okay, just based on experience and talking to a lot of agents, right? 500 leads a year. Well, I'm calling 500 leads a week. And so I'm talking to as many people as you do in a year in a week. I'm doing 1 year of your work in a week. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you, if you want your business, if you're okay with me growing my business 52 times faster than you do, if you in fact pick up 500 leads a year, then and you're okay with that, great. I'm just trying to show you the other side and try to make the argument that you can grow your business faster. You can be in control of your business and how fast it grows. When you understand the number one KPI of lead gen and you apply that accordingly and you use video for what I think video should be used for, which is marketing, brand recognition. Like think about it. If you do social media to the point that everybody knows who you are, and then you're prospecting them, and they already know who you are before they even answer the phone, and you're like, "Hey, it's Ricky Carruth over here, whatever real estate company." They're like, "Oh, hey, I see you on social media." How powerful is that? It's like use them together, right? I mean, don't even use one or the other. Use them together. Think about and this is where I say that you could be the most dangerous agent. Okay. It's when you take, because you've got the new school agents, right, who are like video, social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Awesome. You got the old school, phone calls, emails, postcard, et cetera, et cetera. When you combine these two, I'm telling you, when you get this, you're the most dangerous agent out there. When you're using the new school technology and playing it against the old school, let me talk to you because here's one thing that just hasn't changed and never will change when it comes to real estate, and that's real live conversation. You can't talk to an AI bot about your house, about like selling your house. Like you can do it up to a certain point, but then your real human has to take over. You have to have conversations with people. You have to consult with people. That's what they're paying you for. People don't pay you to find the buyer, right? People don't pay you to find the house if they're a buyer. They found the house on Zillow, right? Why are more people using agents than ever before in history? It's because they have so much information they need you, right? Like they can find the house, so why are they using you? Why are more people using you than ever right now? Why are more sellers going with agents versus for sale by owners right now than ever before? right? Because you can find the buyer pretty easily, right? Why are they doing that? I'll tell you why, because that's not why they hire you. It's for everything after they find the buyer, after they find the house, is the reason why they need you. Now, when you understand all of this, what lead gen actually is, what the actual KPIs are, the different options you have to collect targeted seller data, right? The next thing you need to realize is that there are tens of thousands, right? Tens of thousands of people, buyers and sellers in your market who are dying to do business with you, right? You guys realize closings happen every single day, right? And will happen every day for the rest of your life. We're like, this is the worst year since 95, yet closings are happening every single day. And these people are using real estate agents. More than 90% of buyers or sellers right now are using real estate agents. So do you understand? There are tens of thousands of people in your market who are going to buy and sell properties in the future and would die to work with you. They would love to work with you if only they talked to you and got to know you and understood who you were. You've got to make these connections if you want your business to grow. And the thing is these people want to use agents and they'd love to use you. It's not like you have to talk them into using an agent. They're going to buy or sell. They're going to use an agent. They're just going to use the agent they like the best. Why shouldn't that agent be you? Think about it. I'm gonna put here in the chat of the Zoom, and I'll put it in the description of the video. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. I've got a script right there for you guys, and that's the trade up seller script. That's my trade up seller script, and there's actually a tutorial on there. There's a tutorial on there with where I use Red-X and I break down exactly how to filter properties. I call prospects on that call. There's a link right there on that PDF where I break it all down. The script is right there. You don't even have to put your email in. Just click the link. It's right there. Just download it. There's also a discount, a Red-X discount. And what you need to get is GeoLeads Plus, Expireds Plus, and a multi-line dialer, and get to work. If you want to go that route, and you don't have to, you can do it however you want to do it. I'm not here to tell you how to run your business. I'm just saying if you want to run your business the quickest, if you want to build your business the fastest, if you want to talk to the most people, if you want to have control over who your leads actually are, how many you get, what the cost of those leads are, how frequent they are, the quality, etc., this is the path. And use social media to continue to build your brand. I said this quote a long time ago. I forgot about it. I was like, use video to build your brand. Use the phone to build your business. Yeah, that was one of those original like zero to diamond 2017 quotes. Use video to build your brand. Use the phone to build your business, right? Because all these people you talk to, they're going to do business at some point. I said at the beginning of this training, if you give me 100 leads, right? Because like I've heard this. I've heard agents making calls. I've been on calls, Zoom calls where I hear agents making calls and they'll call. They're super laser focused on the reason they're calling for that expired or whatever. The minute they hear that expired relisted or not relisted, like they didn't relist, like as soon as they heard that they already sold it or wasn't interested in selling, they're like, okay, we'll see you later. Bye. It's like, wait a minute, dude. Like, this person owns this property and they're going to do something with it at some point. They may want to buy other things now. You didn't even like go there with that person. So that's what I'm saying. If you give me 100 leads, 100 conversations versus some of these other agents that are more just focused on getting this deal, getting this expired relisted, setting appointments, etc., I will crush them because I'm looking for every opportunity. I'm not laser focused on that specific opportunity. I'm focused on any opportunity that I could possibly find. And it's like I say, I'm not trying to relist the property. I'm not trying to get the buyer to buy the property they inquired about. I'm not trying to do, anything to do. I'm not trying to sell the property. I'm calling them with a trade up seller script. What I'm doing is I'm using the expired as an excuse to talk to them. I'm using that for sell by owner, the fact that they're trying to sell their home as an excuse to talk to them to see if I can get to know them and get them to open up to me about what they want to do. Um, here's the entire objective of lead gen right here, right? The entire objective of prospecting, okay? The objective of lead gen is to create a conversation. The objective of prospecting is to get your prospect to open up to you, to tell you what it is that they want to do concerning real estate. It doesn't matter if it's now, if it's in 5 years, 10 years, 6 months, today, it doesn't matter. The entire objective is not to set an appointment to get them to do anything, etc. That's not what it is. It's to connect with them and get them to open up to you about what it is they want to do concerning real estate. Like, what are their real estate goals? What are their real estate plans? What are they looking to do? And how you can help them. Cool. I hope this training helped you. I'm going to take a couple questions from everybody on the Zoom. If you want to get notified for the future trainings, just text me 251 312 8844, and we'll see you guys on the next video.